Greetings to us all, my Century in the Galaxy. It's Sedgeman here, so this is my review of WWE Hell in a Cell 2021. This is the final WWE pay-per-view at the Thunderdome with the digital fans until WWE louding the fans back in the arenas next month. The first WWE pay-per-view with the fans will be Money in the Bank 2021. It will be on the 18th of July. Can't wait because Money in the Bank is one of my favorite pay-per-views in WWE alongside WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble of the Year, Survivor Series, not too much. Anyway, so I'm not going to talk about... Actually, I'm going to do a quick result of the kickoff show match. We got Natalya and Tamina retaining the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships against Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. The first match to kick off the main show of Hell in a Cell 21. We got the first Hell in a Cell match of the night. We got Bianca Belair defended the SmackDown's Women's Championship against Bayley. Decent opener, decent Hell in a Cell match. It's not on the same level as Bayley vs Sasha, the Hell in a Cell match from last year's Hell in a Cell event. That's just me, but this was a decent match. The bulk of the match, you had basically Bayley working up the injured shoulder of Bianca, and then Bianca basically not selling the shoulder. Like, one more of the match, she was picking up, I think she was picking up the steel steps. I said to myself, how she's picking up the steel steps with an injured shoulder. I hate that with pro wrestlers not selling the arm or the leg or whatever. I hate that. The ponytail played a part in this match. Bayley, Bianca kind of whipping Bayley with her own ponytail, using it as a weapon, and also, Bianca tied up her own ponytail at Bayley. There was they kind of copied the same spot at the last year's Hell in a Cell match between Bayley and Sasha Banks, with the candlestick spots, you had Bayley basically telling Michael Cole to shut up because she said, we already seen it, people like me, and Bianca Bianca, I think she spine bust Bayley into the piles of candlesticks. And one more of the match, Bayley was biting Bianca's arm, and Pat McAfee kind of oversells it, she's, her flesh was ripped. I don't know what he said. I'm not saying Pat McAfee is a bad commentator. He did a good job, but in this show, he kind of oversells. I hate that. When it's a SmackDown match, because because this show's a duo brand pay-per-view. Anyway, so get back to this match. Try to keep this match short and simple. There was a ladder in this match. Bayley was going for what's it called? The Rose Thorn. It's called. It's basically like a knee face planter. Bianca managed to get out at the last minute, and also before that she's doing a sandwich spot with the ladder, and she was trying to hit the Rose Thorn, I think it's called. Bianca got it out at the last minute. Bayley hurt her knee. In the end, Bianca hit the KOD, that stands for the Kiss of Death, onto Bayley, onto the ladder. She hit the senton, then the KOD to win this match and retain the SmackDown Women's Championship. This is way better than the previous match at WrestleMania Backlash between Bianca and Bayley. As for Bayley, I think her time in the SmackDown Women's title picture is over. Unless they're doing a triple threat match at Money in the Bank between Bianca, Bayley, Sasha. I think they're still going to do Bianca vs Sasha 2 at SummerSlam of this year. Who knows? So it was a decent match. It was to kick off the pay-per-view. So moving on to the next match, we got Seth Rollins versus Cesaro. This is their WrestleMania Backlash rematch. This was a good match. Back and forth between Cesaro and Rollins. Before that, you had Seth Rollins, cheap shot Cesaro outside the ring before the start of the match. There was one funny spot in this match. You had Cesaro kind of took off the glove of Seth Rollins and put the glove in his mouth. Yeah, back and forth. You had basically, I think Cesaro hit a move up the top rope. I think it was a cross body, but Rollins counted into a roll up. Cesaro kicked out. A lot of near falls. In the end, Cesaro hit the Cesaro swing. Locked Rollins with, I think it was the crossface and the sharpshooter. Basically they're not talking about the injured arm of Cesaro, because last month at WrestleMania Backlash, you had Rollins beating down Cesaro, injured Cesaro's arm after he lost the Universal title match against Roman Reigns. Rollins locked in the armbar onto Cesaro. I think Cesaro counted into some kind of slam. He did a lot of slams in this match. In the end, Rollins rolled up Cesaro with a small package to win this match. It makes sense. I called it in my predictions video that I think this rivalry, is going to end at Money in the Bank, because, Cesaro won the first match, Rollins won this match on the show, so it keeps the rivalry alive. So I think the blow-off could be at Money in the Bank. Maybe they do a rematch, or be part of the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Who knows? So, oh boy, oh fucking boy, we got Alexa Bliss taking on Shayna Baszler with Nia Jax and Reginald in Shayna's corner. This is a fucking clusterfuck. I'm sorry. The wrestling in the ring was fine. You had, Alexa with the offense, with kicks, but Shayna kind of hitting, Alexa in the gut near the corner. Alexa's doing the laughing, the same thing as Bray Wyatt was doing. And you had the most cringeworthy thing in this match. Not cringeworthy, but kind of a cringy moment. You had Shayna locking Alexa with the Kimura. She grabbed... one arm is near Alexa's arm, her fingers, and one arm's in her elbow. It's kind of not like Brock's Kimura lock or normal Kimura lock. It's kind of it's very hard to describe. Shayna has one arm in Alexa's wrist and one arm in Alexa's elbow. I thought she's gonna break Alexa's arm. It'll be on the new level when Alexa's arm was mangled and her arm is basically off its socket. It was just during her match with Becky Lynch way back in 2016, 2017. I thought Shayna's gonna break Alexa's arm. I hate that. Seeing these submission holds. You're probably seeing MMA, but I kind of cringe. Great example. Sometimes I watch a little bit of Timothy Thatcher's matches. I thought holy shit, I don't want to see a gruesome sports injury. There was one dumbest things in these matches. You basically had Alexa kind of hypnotize Shayna, and then she hypnotized Nia, had Nia slapping Reginald, and Alexa made Nia scream. This is fucking stupid. I don't want to get into it. In the end, I knew Alexa would win this match. She hit the Twist of Bliss. I think it's called the DDT, and then the Twist of Bliss onto Shayna to win this match. And this is fucking stupid. The stuff with the I understand they're trying to make Alexa as this Harley Quinn of WWE. I don't like her gimmick. I'm sorry. The difference between I feel like compare between her and Bray in my predictions video of this show. I'm kind of stumbled, but yeah, the difference between Alexa Bliss and the Fiend Bray Wyatt. Bray's gimmick, the Firehouse Funhouse Bray and the Fiend Bray against Alexa Bliss, her dark gimmick you see right now. I think with the Fiend, Firehouse Funhouse Bray, I think his gimmick was more organic, but Alexa's gimmick is so forced in my opinion. I hate the hokey pocus type of stuff in pro wrestling. It kind of worked with Matt Hardy because Matt Hardy, Bray kind of kind of work, but they kind of overexpose shit for the next 4 years. They've been doing it for 5 years since Matt Hardy been doing it in TNA, but sometimes it works, others it doesn't work. That's just me. I just like never got into it. I never buy into it. Like it's a fucking dud. The stuff with Alexa, Hypnotist, and Shayna, it makes Shayna look like a dickhead. Not saying she's a dickhead, but it's just making like Shayna more like a chump, a jabroni, a loser, and making Nia screaming and choke slam, or not choke slam, but smacking Reginald. Why Reginald's there, I don't know. Typical WWE booking, but let's move on. So, yeah, it's the only worst match of the show. The next match, we got Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. This was an okay match. They had a lot of matches between Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Kevin Steen, El Generico, in Ring of Honor / NXT and in the main roster. I like the WrestleMania match a little bit better than this, Kevin kind of like sells the shoulder, because one more of the match, like, he was going for like a senton off the ring apron, but Sammy used the legs, but yeah, it looks like Kevin suffered like a bit of a shoulder injury, but he was selling the throat injury because he was in this feud with Apollo Crews with Aziz, because they're using like this thing called the Nigerian nail, it's called. Try to keep it short and simple. Sami hit like the cross. Yeah, he hit like I think it's called the plunger onto Kevin Owens outside the ring. It was a physical match. Trying to keep this match short and simple. Kevin Owens hit the stunner onto Sami Zayn outside the ring. In the end, Sami Zayn hit Kevin Owens with the Vuna kick to win this match. So I don't know why they continue this, because I wish they just. It's a damn shame they never do a double turn. They should have done a double turn on this show, because Kevin Owens, ever since he turned babyface, he didn't do nothing. And right now he's a loser. He lost multiple times, becoming the Universal Champion against Roman Reigns. I'm talking about this year. And now he's like failed to win the Intercontinental Championship against Apollo Crews. Now he lost to Sami Zayn. He's built like a loser. Turn him heel, in my opinion. I understand. I said like they need more babyface than heels, but with Kevin Owens, he's not doing anything. I prefer Kevin Owens as a heel than a babyface, because he's a trash talker. I wish they do it like a double turn, or them teaming up, but unfortunately, that's not going to happen in my opinion. So that was match number 4. The second last match of the night, we got Rhea Ripley defended the Raw Women's Championship against Charlotte Flair. This was a much better than the other 2 matches on the night. That is Alexa, Shayna, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. This was a good match between Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. The bulk of the match, you had Charlotte working on the leg of Rhea Ripley. Rhea kind of like locked Charlotte Flair with the Texan Cloverleaf. I don't know why they call it the Texan Cloverleaf, because for once, like, Rhea's not from Texas. She's from Australia. And she's from Adelaide. I'm going to call it the Adelaide Cloverleaf, I wish they called it something else for her submission hold. I'm talking about Rhea Ripley. Charlotte managed to counter the Texas Cloverleaf attempt by Rhea. I think Rhea kicked out the national sensation by Charlotte. Rhea hit the riptide onto Charlotte Flair. Charlotte's leg was on the ropes. The ending was bullshit. Not bullshit, but it was stupid. You had Rhea got herself disqualified. Basically hit Charlotte with, the announce table, like the Hell in a Cell logo on the announce table. And then Charlotte and Rhea kind of like fight a little bit. Rhea got the last laugh, hit the riptide onto Charlotte to end this match. And 100%, I guarantee it's going to be a rematch between Charlotte and Rhea at Money in the Bank next month. I like that match at WrestleMania last year than this match, Well, they fought so many times between Charlotte and Rhea, because they fought in the triple threat match at WrestleMania Backlash between her, Charlotte, and Asuka. Now this match, so I hope that this is the blow off between Rhea and Charlotte. So I don't know. So let's move on to the main event. The main event, we got the second Hell in a Cell match of the night. We got Bobby Lashley defending the WWE Championship against Drew McIntyre. Hope it's the final match of the feud. They kind of dragged this rivalry out since May of last year, and I'll get to that later on. I don't know, it's the weakest out of this rivalry between Lashley and Drew. They've been feud for 5 years, ever since they fought in TNA, they fought right now in the main roster, they've got good chemistry between Lashley and Drew. Like, the bulk of the match you had, basically, it's more like a still stats match than a Hell in a Cell match. Like, one more of the match you had, Drew dig big power slams onto Lashley, hit the Alabama slam onto the chair. It hit the white noise onto Lashley onto the steel steps outside the ring. I understand it's paying tribute to Sheamus. I'm not saying Sheamus is dead, but because Sheamus and Drew are friends. There was a referee bump. I think it was after, I think Lashley, I feel like one more of the match, Drew was going for I'll get to that, I'll get to what I'm talking about a little bit shortly. There was a referee bump. Drew hit he hit the Future Shock, that's his old finisher before the Claymore. Hit the Future Shock onto Lashley. MVP pulled the referee out. Then Drew hit the Claymore onto MVP. There was a table spot. There was 2 table spots in this match. You had Drew, not Drew. You had Lashley locked Drew up with the hurt lock, and then they went through a table, and then minutes later you had Lashley choke slammed Drew into the other table outside the ring. Yeah, like I said, I'm trying to say, you had Drew was going for the Claymore kick, Lashley got out of the way. I feel like there was a roll. I think it was a roll up attempt by Drew or Lashley. One of them did attempt to do a roll up or kind of pin, but one kicked out. Sorry, I can't remember. But and also you had Lashley was going for the spear. Drew got out of the way. And try to keep it short and simple. In the end, Drew was going for Drew tortured Lashley, hitting him chair shots. I bet their backs are so basically battered and cut. Because there was a candlestick attempt. Lashley. You had Lashley and MVP choke Drew with the candlestick, because this is before MVP was in the cell. He got himself locked in the cell after the referee bump. In the end, Drew was going for the Claymore kick. MVP hold Drew's legs. In the end, Lashley rolled up Drew for the roll up to win this match and retain the WWE Championship. Very weak. I wish they just basically spear Drew or lock Drew with the hurt lock, but that's just me. It's a bit weird. Yeah, you got BC Amplified gonna bitch and moan. You're like, oh, the roll up, the dreaded roll up. I don't hate BC Amplified, but sometimes with BC Amplified, he's kind of part of the problem. He's kind of turning into another anti-Smarks. I gotta say 100% that. I think BC Amplified is going to be another Bruce Blitz. That's another story for another time. So, as for Drew, I think Drew's time in the WWE title picture is over. I don't know what next for Drew. I think they need another babyface opponent for Lashley. I want to see Lashley AJ Styles, man. That'll be a good match. Do it at SummerSlam, a babyface AJ Styles versus heel Lashley. I want AJ and Omos dropping the tag team title belts, and Omos broke away from AJ, and you put AJ back into the world title picture and face Lashley. They need more babyface. Enough with the rivalry between Lashley and Drew. They kind of dragged it. They kind of drag it to the ground at this moment of time. They fought so many times. They fought at Backlash last year. They fought WrestleMania this year. WrestleMania Backlash in the triple threat match between Lashley, Drew, Braun Strowman. That was Strowman's last in WWE before he got released. And now this match at Hell in a Cell. How many? And they fought on Raw. You know, they dragged this rivalry to the ground, in my opinion. They need to end. Hope that this is the blow off. Hope it's the end of the rivalry for now. But yeah. So yeah, my final rating for Hell in a Cell 2021, the final WWE pay-per-view at the Thunderdome with the digital fans. Before, you know, WWE let fans back in the arena until Monday back of next month. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. This was a decent show. The match of the night has to be Lashley versus Drew, the men's Hell in a Cell match. And then you got like Bianca versus Bayley, Charlotte Flair, you know, Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's Championship. It was a good match, but the DQ finish was a bit disappointed. And Rollins Cesaro, that was a good match as well. The only match in the OK has to be Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, because we saw it so many times. The only thing in the bad has to be the finish of the Rhea Charlotte match, and and the stuff between Alexa and Shayna. That was bullshit. So anyway, so hope you enjoyed my review of Hell in a Cell 2021. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Smash the like button. Click the bell, subscribe to the Central Mind Network on YouTube for more wrestling videos, Marvel videos and more. And this is Central officially signing out. Check you later.